With just days until New Mexico's first semi-open primary, a major shakeup in leadership tonight within one of the state's major political parties. A state judge ordering Amy Barela to step down as chairwoman of the Republican Party of New Mexico in a lawsuit filed by fellow Republicans.
It's pretty unusual to see a bitter intra-party fight like this take place within the family.
This follows accusations that top party officials were using their positions to favor certain candidates.
So what's next for RPNM, and what does this mean for the primary? Leah Chavez joins us with some answers.
Yeah, that's right. Political experts tell me the chair of a political party is essentially the boss, the person in charge. They are responsible for delivering the party's message to voters. Tonight, RPNM now figuring out how to navigate its next steps. A ruling by a New Mexico district court judge Wednesday causing a shakeup in the state's Republican Party days ahead of the primary election.
There have been intra-party fights before, but this one is really unusual. 3 Republican candidates running for office in New Mexico are suing their own party, claiming Republican Party of New Mexico officers violated party bylaws. One rule says a party officer must step down immediately if they file for public office and another Republican is running against them. Amy Barela, chair of the party, is an Otero County commissioner running for re-election, facing a Republican in the primary. Amy Barela's position as party chair gives her a higher profile and may lend her an aura of greater party legitimacy than her challenger, the judge writes.
It's significant in that the judge is saying if these political parties are going to make some rules, they got to follow their own rules.
Another party bylaw says officers cannot endorse Republican candidates in a primary. The judge writes that 2 defendants did just that. State Senator and party official Jim Townsend and RPNM Treasurer Kimberly Skaggs. While the case moves forward, the judge has ordered Amy Barela to step down as party chair. The court also ordering the defendants not to publicly endorse any Republican candidate if that candidate has a GOP opponent. That includes endorsements made through social media, email lists, mailers, or events. The lawsuit was brought by GOP gubernatorial candidate Duke Rodriguez and Republican Lieutenant Governor candidate Aubrey Blair Dung, among other plaintiffs. KUAT speaking to their attorney hours after the preliminary injunction.
I think it's very important for people to realize how much courage political candidates take if they're taking on their own party to make certain that the rules are followed.
Mitchell says his clients are thrilled with the order. He says everyone named in the lawsuit is friendly with one another, but his clients still believed it was important to make sure the party followed its own rules.
That's a big leap to take. They took it because it was the right thing to do.
And Aaliyah, now the judge ruled the GOP party officials can't endorse Republicans in contested races?
Yeah, that's right. I asked KUAT political expert Brian Sanderoff what impact, if any, it could have on voters.
I don't think that will have any sway for voters, but I doubt if the Republican Party was about to endorse any candidates.
And we did reach out to Barela as well as her attorney, and we didn't hear back. Reporting, I'm Leah Chavez, KUAT Action 7 News.
The party's executive director says the Republican Party of New Mexico will follow the judge's order, but plans to appeal it to a higher court.